What's up, my peeps? Mrs. Zane Wu here, and welcome to ZW Nation. Happy Valentine's Day. As we know, Valentine's Day represents the day of togetherness, love, and etc. But sometimes love is not quite what we would expect it to be. Today's video is a top 4 of characters that didn't necessarily make the right choice. Now, granted, this is just my opinion. Maybe the creators of these shows or movies and properties and stuff, maybe they knew exactly what they were doing. Maybe they knew who should wind up with who. But as we have learned within history, there are going to be people with different opinions, and I happen to have some different opinions on these characters. Now, we're going to start off at number 4. Number 4 is Tommy Oliver from the Power Ranger series. Now, any Power Ranger fan knows that Tommy wind up with Catherine, and apparently they even have like a child and etc. So like they are together. But Tommy did have a girlfriend before Catherine, and that was Kimberly, the original Pink Ranger. For 3 seasons, they were a prominent couple. They had a very solid relationship. They were the only couple in Power Rangers that was able to actually kiss on screen. Now, I know that people have said that Wes and Jen's relationship is a more superior relationship when it comes to Power Rangers, and I would, agree. But I believe that at least a second or third best would be Tommy and Kimberly. It didn't make any sense to me that for 3 years they built up this character couple to be so strong, and then what I'm assuming happened was Haim Saban was like, well, we can't get Amy Jo back, so just go ahead and have him to wind up with Catherine. And they did it in the most sloppiest way possible. They had Kimberly to send Tommy a Dear John letter. He felt kind of crappy. Billy, and Catherine wind up going on this ski trip where he meets this professional skier. But then some things happen and he really can't date her. And they just set it up for him and Catherine to be together. And it felt stupid to me. It really didn't make any sense. Like, I've seen some sloppy writing before and stuff, but that just really made zero sense to me. Tommy should not have wind up with Catherine. He could have continued to have a relationship with Kimberly. Hell, Power Rangers constantly tried to teach kids things. They could have used that opportunity to teach kids about long distance relationships. But oh no, you decided to say screw it. If they're too far away from you, eventually they're going to wind up meeting someone else, and you're going to be struggling unless there's a Catherine in your life. However it is, because it really irritates me as a Power Ranger fan. That was number 4. Now we're on to number 3. Number 3 is Clark from Smallville. Now, anybody who knows the Superman story knows that Clark and Lois are in game. They are always going to be in game. But the special thing about Smallville was, at least originally, it was supposed to be more of an origin story. And as we all know, well, at least we should, from Superman's mythos, he always winds up dating Lana Lang. Lana was his high school sweetheart. And for a show like Smallville, you would think that they would have concluded it with having him and Lana together. Because within the first few seasons, all Clark could do was think about Lana. And although they had opportunities to be in a relationship, Clark would mess it up by not telling his secret I'm an alien. I've been saving your life multiple times and stuff. And it just feels so weird to me that they never properly had a relationship. It was kind of like a will they, won't they thing. And then there were moments where they kind of were dating, but then things would get messed up. And it got so messy. And I'm not saying that Clark shouldn't be with Lois. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying for a show like Smallville, especially the way they introduced Lois and constantly had her to essentially be a big sister to Clark, you can tell where the chemistry was. The chemistry was in Clark and Lana, not Clark and Lois. And also, for those of you all who say, well, if you know that he was going to be in game with Lois anyway, where's the issue? This is the issue. Green Arrow. The Green Arrow has been within at least 2 live action shows, Smallville and his own show, Arrow. And on both shows, Black Canary was there. Black Canary not with Oliver Queen. What's up with that? For those of you all who you're so big on Clark and Lois being in game, Green Arrow is always supposed to be with Black Canary. And what happened? Smallville, Chloe Sullivan. Arrow, Felicity. So all you purists out there who would judge me and say that, oh, Clark and Lois are always supposed to be in game, y'all ain't having that same respect for freaking Oliver Queen, though. So I can have my opinion. Clark and Lana had way more chemistry. They could have shorn the show down. And even if Clark always was still supposed to be in game with Lois, the show still could have ended having him and Lana be together. And then when he came back in Crisis on Infinite Earth, we could have seen him with a Lois. If that, if that would please you fans. But however it is, because I'm getting too personal with this. On to number 2. Number 2 is from RWBY. It is Blake. Blake is a interesting character. She has a faunus, meaning she is like a cat-like creature, like this different humanoid animal-esque creature. And she wound up with Yang. And I wouldn't have a problem with it, except for the fact that it came out of nowhere. And I know people would be like, well, her and Yang built up, like kind of a bond in season 5. And it just, no. It felt like the show, and who knows, because the creator did die, but who knows where things would have been if the creator was still alive. But from season 1 to season 4, I'd say, you saw Blake with Sun, this monkey dude who's clearly based off Sun Wukong. And it felt like they were building a good relationship, and it felt like Sun was getting Blake out of her shell, and it was a beautiful thing because Blake was a very closed person, and she really started to open up with the help of Sun. And even in season 4, Sun got to meet her parents, and it really felt like that thing where the girl brings the boyfriend home, and then the father's kind of like, and then the mom's kind of like, oh, he's cute. And like, that's what it felt like they were doing. And then you get rid of it. You say, screw it. This isn't working. Hook up with Yang. Where did that come from? And, I'm not sure how people would feel. I'm not sure people would look at it like, oh, you're homophobic. Oh, you just don't want to see the girls be together. That's not the case. If anything, they could have had Ruby and Weiss be together, or Ruby and Penny be together. Like, it didn't make any sense to have Blake and Yang wind up together because they didn't build on the relationship. It was just like, hey, we're friends, and hey, we're starting to like each other a bit more. Where in the world did that come from? Who in the writer's room was looking at this like, yeah, this totally makes sense. We're gonna totally hook Blake and Yang up. They're the end game, you know. They're perfect for each other. No, it comes out of freaking left field, and it frustrates me when a show writer does that. Why are you coming out of left field? However it is, on to number one. Number one is definitely gonna have some controversy because people wanted these two together in the first name place, and that's Star, Butterfly, and Marco Diaz. Star and Marco should not have been together. It felt like Star and Tom were supposed to be in game. Tom was like a douche at first. He was not good for Star. And he made a complete turnaround. This man went and did the little reverse exorcism thing. Him and Marco started becoming buds. It just made no sense whatsoever that they would have Star and Marco to be together. It pisses me off whenever a show does this best friend supposed to be together thing. Kim Possible did it. They tried to do it with Liz McGuire. It kills me.